Hi, today in my inspiration on Celeste TV. Oh, okay. Hi, Mick. Just filming.
Filming yourself doing poses?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll let you do that then.
Okay. So for today's video, I'm actually going to cover how to stick with exercise when you don't feel like you can. Let's see, I've been teaching people how to stay with their exercise program since I was 18. So at 55, I kind of feel like I understand all the reasons we don't exercise. The challenge with exercise, or doing your yoga, or doing your back exercises that the doctor gave you, or making sure you do your walk in the morning, whatever it is, we don't have a tendency to stick with it because we don't have the ability to trust ourselves. Do you know what I mean? We don't have the ability to keep doing what we need to do in our life. That's important. We have a tendency to do the things that we have to do, put out the garbage, pick up the kids from daycare, make sure we get the grocery shopping done, make sure we go to Costco and save money. All those things are measurable because they have external rewards that we can report to somebody. It looks good. We look good when we exercise. Honestly, at 55, I do feel a lot more tired, but I also feel amazing. Hold on, I'm going to close the door because my housemate just came in. 1 second. Sorry. Okay. Coming back. Okay. So, at 55, I feel better than I did in my early 20s. Because I have a sensibility about how to live that I didn't have then. So truly, the youth is wasted on the young is accurate in that sometimes when we get older, always when we get older, people identify with believing that it means that they're going to degenerate. Years ago when I was at the doctor, I often have had low back pain. I have none currently. But there's been years where I've gone through low back pain. I have scoliosis. And I've always managed it really well through osteopath and my fantastic massage therapist, Sergey Tunis. He's also my osteopath. And by doing yoga every day, exercise every day of some sort. I'm not exactly a yogini. I don't follow only yoga. I do a lot of different things that make sense to me. Weight training, dance, running, swimming, any kind of inspired movement. Honestly, anything that my body feels like doing. So I listen to how to move and how to stretch, and I listen to how much I need to be outside. That for me is huge. I live in a sanctuary, yoga sanctuary. This is a yoga sanctuary, but I live on a ravine, and it's in a conservation area. So I do get fantastic exposure to excellent air, even when the heat wave is on in Toronto. And that is key for staying alive, feeling connected to nature and in touch with a harmony inside you that creates an inner order that's just can't be missed. When we feel this way, we know how to live. So when you exercise on a regular basis, you feel more alive and you can rely on yourself. So at 55, I have a more delighted respect for the body that I did when I was in my 20s. In my 20s, I could do anything. Now getting up at 5:30 in the morning is not fun. I don't have the same vitality that I had in my early 20s. And I'm going to oversimplify because this is not my area of expertise. But in Chinese medicine, when you're over the age of 50, you're meant to really not use your energy, your physical vitality, your physical energy, to run around, to be as, use that energy as much physically. And I do find that. I find that I'm much more selective with what I do, how I do it, and that I often will believe that I can increase the intensity of my exercise and find out that day it's not an option and I won't force myself. So let's just say, for example, I met somebody for a run on the beach, which I wouldn't do. I actually run on my own. But let's just say I did and I didn't have the energy. I'd go down and I'd say to them, hey, go for a run. I'm going to do my breathing practice on the beach. So we need to rely on ourselves to follow through with what our body needs that day. And we don't know how to do that. We really don't. No one has taught us to be our own trainer. No one has showed us how to listen to the body's needs that day and adjust accordingly. And also we don't know how to adjust. So here's my suggestion. Choose to have a time every day that you exercise. It is very good to have a time to dedicate to one time. Because then it's set like office hours and you work your whole calendar around that. And you schedule it in and you don't let anything disrupt it. Second, you listen to the vitality or non-vitality you have that day and you adjust your workout time, exercise time, yoga time, meditation time accordingly. So for example, some days I'll do half an hour of Shavasana, lying breathing, and an hour of yoga. I do 90 minutes a day. When I thought I was going to do weight training and a run, no way, that's not what my body wants. So when you schedule the time, then in the second factor is do what you need to do that day. The third would be do whatever is required to motivate you, and you know what that is. It might be you must do a registered class where you're committed financially and you have to do that. If you love to be in a group, be in a group. If you love to be on your own, be on your own. If you love to be outside, do that. If you can't stand the elements, practice inside or exercise inside. I think of yoga as practice. Make sure that you follow your own exercise personality. I know many people that are the best when they're competing or when they're at the gym, when they have that kind of exposure and camaraderie. Me, I'd way rather be in nature alone. So listen to what your body needs. And then there's days I love to go to the gym because I love to see all the gorgeous guys and everybody and say hello and have the camaraderie that I can experience when I go there. So know what it is that you need to do. Also know that you don't need to be fit. And maybe that's easy for me or someone else to say, but you really don't need to be fit. I can sincerely say, because I've watched this all my life, that when I see somebody that's just starting out, let's say they just started running and their gait is off and they're slogging along, that people have such a beautiful appreciation for someone who shows up like that. I'm stating the obvious, but I think we forget to start when we don't believe we can, when we're overweight or when we're really tight or our knees hurt, because we start to run and then our knees hurt. Well, then do some different exercises, which I would be happy to reveal to you if you emailed. There's always the ability to adjust and to turn our workout time into what we need it to be. So that's the fourth factor, if I'm at the fourth factor, is to find out how to adjust the intensity and the type of exercise that you're doing to adjust where you're at. I can honestly, as if I'd lie, I can honestly report to you that when I've worked with somebody, I've worked with every population that you can imagine, that when I've worked with somebody that couldn't do an exercise that we were supposed to do to increase their strength, then we always had a modification. And it would be a modification that would work another muscle group, that would stabilize the group that can't work because it's too swollen, for example, and learn how to do that. So, for example, I dislocated my shoulder yesterday. It's really sore. And there's a lot of nervousness in my tissue today because I can feel that I'm afraid that maybe I'm going to dislocate it again. I haven't dislocated it for, I think, 2.5 years. I've been really working on strengthening this area. So today, I'm being attentive to that. I'm not buying into a fearful story that it might dislocate because that's not empowering. But I'm really noticing how I get nervous when I go to raise my arm. And then I compassionately listen. And then the good thing is, when I do move my arm the day after dislocating it, I don't create as much scar tissue. And I assist the circulation. And that means that the nerves get a message that there's not trauma, there's not, there's not caution. And then the nervous system doesn't send a message to the brain, don't move your shoulder, which is very easy to believe when your shoulder hurts. I don't think we can even recognize how much pain is actually an indicator of where the body needs attention, where we need gentle movement, responsive movement. So any type of exercise that is intelligent, that's listening as you go, is a way to enhance and keep up your fitness level. So that doesn't mean that we get older. It means we get more attentive to how our bodies need to move. If I hear one more person talk about aging, I just find it so discouraging how we think about our bodies. And we create all kinds of reasons why we can't exercise or do yoga or breathe or walk or whatever it is that you love to do. Canoeing, cycling, everything, tennis. Sitting and breathing is exercise. Singing is exercise. What are the ways that we need to get into our bodies to enhance our bodies, to feel alive? This is what it is to exercise. It doesn't mean that it's just exercise, physical exercise. Again, it can be breathing practice. If you're too tired to exercise and you do breathing practice, then you will probably dispel the reasons you're too tired to exercise. Let me say that again. If you're too tired to exercise and you do breathing practice, that could enhance your ability to exercise later because you feel better from the breathing practice. You always will. So whatever you know you need to do to stick with your exercise, again, be with somebody, be registered, whatever your exercise personality, the way that you love to exercise and know that you will, make sure you make that a way of life. Do what it is that you need to do to stick with your exercise and schedule it in. And don't let anybody take you away from it. Husband, wife, dog, anybody. Okay? Thank you.